ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तना हृद्यन्थस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवत्येव तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 19, Text 5. सिद्धा विद्याधरा दैत्या दानवा गुह्यकादयः सुनंदनंद प्रमुखाः पार्षद प्रवरा हरे. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddha Loka and Vidyadhar Loka, all the descendants of Diti, and the demons and the yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates, headed by Sunanda and Nanda. Text 6. Kapilo Narado Datto Yogesha Sanakadayah Tamanvir Bhagavata Yecha Tatsevanotsukah. Translation. Great devotees who were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, and Dattatreya, and masters of the mystic powers, headed by Sanaka Kumara, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. Text 7. Yatra dharma duga bhumi sarva kama duga sati dogdhi smabhipsi satanarthan yajmanasya bharata. Translation. My dear Vidura, in that great sacrifice, the entire land came to be like the milk producing Kamadhenu, and thus by the performance of Yajna, all daily necessities for life were supplied. Purport. In this word Dharma Dugdha, in this verse, the word Dharma Dugdha is significant, for it indicates Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is also known as Surabhi. Surabhi cows inhabit the spiritual world, and as stated in Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is engaged in tending these cows. Surabhir avip palayantam. One can milk a Surabhi cow as often as he likes, and the cow will deliver as much milk as one requires. Milk, of course, is necessary for the production of so many milk products, especially clarified butter, which is required for performance of great sacrifices. Unless we are prepared to perform the prescribed sacrifices, our supply of the necessities of life will be checked. Bhagavad Gita confirms that Lord Brahma created human society along with Yajna, the performance of sacrifices. Yajna means Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, however, it is very difficult to find qualified Brahmanas who can perform sacrifices as prescribed in the Vedas. Therefore, it is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yagna Sankirtana Praye, that by performing Sankirtana Yagya, by satisfying the Yagya Purusha, Lord Chaitanya, one can derive all the results derived by great sacrifices in the past. King Prithu and others derived all the necessities of life from the earthly planet by performing great sacrifices. Now this Sankirtana movement has already been started by International Society for Krishna Consciousness. People should take advantage of this great sacrifice and join in the society's activities. Then there will be no scarcity. If Sankirtan Yajna is performed, there will be no difficulty, not even in industrial enterprises. Therefore, this system should be introduced in all spheres of life: social, political, industrial, commercial, etc. then everything will run very peacefully and smoothly. End of purport. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas so that I can use today's lecture to purify myself. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to purify myself. I am going to read from a lecture given by Kadamba Kanan Swami Maharaj. Please forgive me if I add my own interpretation to the summary. So, we can see here that Maharaj Prithu, as the ruler of earth, is utilizing the resources of earth in the best possible manner. He is using those resources to perform the sacrifice for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. But nowadays, that is not the case. We can see that leaders are only interested in exploiting the resources for their own sense gratification. So Maharaj explains that he was recently in a country where there was a big sporting event was going on, and a big event. This was a big event. The whole country was watching it and being played in a big stadium. And then at the conclusion of the game, there was a big laser show to project the country's flag in the sky. So Maharaj says that we are spending so much money and so much effort in these things. We are cutting thousands and thousands of trees every day to print paper. And what do we use that paper for? To publish nonsense news. And then the environmentalists complain that deforestation is happening. And we can see that actions of human beings are changing the planet and climate and everything. So many animals have become extinct, and we are also genetically modifying the plants. So all these actions have great impact. And this impact we are seeing right now, and we will see even more and more in future. So clearly, this shows that in modern times the resources are misused because our civilization is misguided and misdirected, as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Canto 1, chapter 5, verse 11, it is mentioned that the world is living in a misdirected civilization, and it can only guided by transcendental literature such as Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, our leaders are exploiting us today, but Maharaj Prithu was opposite of that. He was famous for performing 99 Ashwamedha sacrifice, and this is the 100th one he was doing, which was interrupted by Indra. So he was so pious and so powerful that when he performed the yajna, the whole world would watch it. And demigods would personally come to take their share of offerings. Like you may have seen in modern day when we do yajna or any Satyanarayan puja, we offer the sacrifice for all devatas and we hope that they would accept it. But in the olden times, the devatas, the demigods will come personally to collect their share of offerings. And what to talk about devatas? In this sacrifice, we see that Supreme Lord Vishnu appeared. And thus we can say that all the wealth of world is well spent here, because when Supreme Lord appears, all auspiciousness happens. So Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing in the purport that Sankirtana Yagna is the best in this yuga because we do not have qualified Brahmanas, we do not have the purity of mantras nor of the ingredients. So instead of trying to do those or mimic the ancient kings, we should just perform Sankirtan Yajna because the essence of all these uh, arrangements which we do for performing yajna and fire sacrifice is same as Sankirtan Yajna because the essence is glorification of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So we should always engage in glorifying Krishna. We should always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam verse 2.2.36 explains Tasmat Sarvatmana Rajan Hari Sarvatra Sarvada Shrotavya Kirtivyascha Smartavyo Bhagwan Nirnam. O king, it is therefore essential that every human being hear about, glorify, and remember the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, always and everywhere. Worshipping Krishna by chanting the holy name is specially potent. In Adi Purana, it is mentioned that when somebody is chanting Krishna's name, Krishna is personally present there. Krishna's name is not different from him. As mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nam Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatvan Nama Namina. So, Lord Krishna's name is not different from him. And this chanting is not like a Vedic sacrifice where we are trying to achieve something by performing it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that chanting of holy name is both sadhana and sadhya. That is practice and goal. Srila Prabhupada used to say, what is the result of chanting? It is more chanting. So we are not chanting to get some reward in the end. The glorification of Krishna itself is rewarding. As soon as we chant the name of Krishna, we remember Krishna, then we become gradually overwhelmed with amazement. The qualities of Krishna are wonderful. Unfortunately, in today's time, our minds have become polluted and attached to misconceptions. Our faith is misdirected. We think that all these material things in this world will satisfy us. And even after failing so many times, we again and again try, hoping for a different result. But Vaishnavas don't think like that. As a Vaishnava, our philosophy is not that there is no enjoyment in this world. There is enjoyment in this world, but the enjoyment is in using things from this world in Krishna's service, our senses and body in service of Krishna. Impersonalists will deny it. Impersonalists say that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. They call this world false, but we don't call Jagat Mithya. We use all the things available in this world to glorify Krishna. Then the world is not Mithya. Only glorification of Krishna can fulfill the heart. Just like Vyasdeva, who was the best, uh, but he was still not satisfied after writing so many great scriptures. Then Narada Muni came and pointed out, because you have not directly glorified Lord Krishna, that is why you are unsatisfied. And then he ended up writing Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Krishna consciousness defines that we simply choose Krishna. We have a choice. We want to choose Maya or we want to choose Krishna. We have to choose something. We can't not choose anything. At the end of the day, when our judgment happens, we will be counted as either a communist or a capitalist or a nationalist or some kind of believer in something, or we have a choice to be counted as Krishna conscious. So we need to make a choice. How do we want to be counted as when our judgment happens? But we need courage to stand up for Krishna. Let the whole world criticize us, but we will glorify Krishna. We have heard the stories of devotees in the early days in Russia, how they were in jail and mental hospitals and went through so many tortures, but they did not stop chanting. In fact, their chanting was so contagious that it spread throughout the prison, and other people were also influenced. So, Srila Prabhupada said that this movement cannot be stopped. There is nothing you can do to stop it. So, Vasudeva Katharuchi, or the taste for glorifying Krishna, cannot be given up. The taste for prasadam, it cannot be given up. So, this movement will continue somehow or other. There will be some struggles, some challenges along the way, but the movement will continue because life without Krishna is impossible. Now that we have joined this movement and we have aspired to become devotees, we have two choices. Either we can be a happy devotee or unhappy devotee. So we might as well be happy devotee and chant. What is the point of being unhappy devotee? So we should have full faith that all good things will come from this chanting. All we need to do is to turn again and again to devotional service. Because this chanting does not require anything. It can be done anywhere, it can be done anytime, and no money is required. We don't need to make any arrangements. In fact, if we are unable to speak, we can just do silently also. So it is so merciful and so liberal that it does not require any condition, but just one thing, that we remember Krishna and we love Krishna. So we need to realize that time is running out in our life. Before we know, the life will be over. So we need to take advantage of this. And if we are sincere, we can go back to Godhead. So we must be very optimistic that we have to go back to Godhead in this very lifetime. And we must be convinced that there is success in the end. With this, I would like to end. Pancha Kalpatrubhya